Now, I know better than to talk politics on what's supposed to be an entertainment channel. I tried it once before and it came back to bite me. I know I'm not the most entertaining dude on earth, but I at least try to give you guys something. And here's where I'm probably going to kill that by talking politics. For hopefully the last time, unless the situation calls for it again. Now, here we go. By the recording of this video, it is February the 16th, well, for another 9 minutes, 2024. And in the year 2024, Americans will be voting for a couple things. Some states, including Ohio, will be voting for senators. Pretty much all states will be voting for members of the House of Representatives, because those people are elected once every 2 years. Kind of stupid in my opinion, but moving on. Actually, no, really, just 2 years? Founding Fathers, what the hell? Just 2 years for members of the House of Reps? What? I mean, a lot of people shit on the Founding Fathers already, but that's kind of dumb. Anyways, so why do I make this video then? If I say this is going to be the first and only time well, not first, it's pretty much the third and hopefully last time, because I know what I view as right or wrong, and y'all are free to disagree. I'm just telling you what I think. You going or what? Nope. Okay. Another YouTuber to whom I subscribe has only talked politics twice. Once after the Capitol Hill riot and once in passing mention. The time he did it in passing mention, he mentioned the Republican Party in a negative tone. I won't reveal who this YouTuber is for his own security and privacy. I know how things on YouTube can get. I've been here long enough. And he wasn't criticizing the whole Republican Party, just Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And yeah, that's... I really hate when people do that. When they just want to say something bad about an entire party just because of one fucking person. And usually when people hear the word Republican nowadays, they usually think of former US President Donald Trump. Who is one of the final 3 candidates, by the recording of this video, to be the nominee for the Republicans in the presidential election of 24. And it really irks me that some people think that one man speaks for the entire Republican Party. That you think one person alone speaks for every single person who lines up with that sector of politics. Also doesn't help that Donald Trump is kind of a moron. Yeah. Gonna be as gentle as I can here because once again, I know how YouTube can get. Anyways. So, and when people hear of the other party, they think of current, again, by the time I record this, President Joe Biden. Who also isn't exactly working with a full deck of cards, if you know what I mean. Yep. And that really irks me about my fellow Americans. This is why I don't join either of your political parties. I'm not an indifferent, which is what a lot of people my generation are. Hell, one time while working at the place of business I work at, again, not going to say, because, yeah, we don't need politically obsessed people on our parking lot, One of my coworkers once called himself an independent and said, "Well, I don't care. I just don't like any of the politicians." Well, then you're not an independent, you're an indifferent. There's a difference between the two. Independent just means that you don't join either of America's huge ass backwards political parties. Neither of which, by the time I record this video, has chosen its candidate for presidential nomination. And as that goes on, I've recognized a lot of people divided. That always happens in an election year. It's happened every single time since the election of 1796. The American people have always had the one candidate they liked and the one that they hated. Other Americans have disagreed. And here's where I bring up this. What I'm about to say is going to be a real challenge for my fellow Americans. Before that, I'm going to tell you why I don't join either of America's political parties. I'm not indifferent. I do see every issue that each side's trying to tackle. I see the Democratic Party fighting for civil rights and civil liberties. And I acknowledge that in certain areas they are right. I see the Republicans worried about crime and even corruption within law enforcement. And to a point, they are right. I see the Democrats wanting to care for the environment. I see Republicans wanting to care about the economy. And on each side, I see a great many individuals who go way, way too far to their side of the spectrum. And the reason I personally am an independent is not just because I view each side as having gone too far, but because I have both friends and family in each political party in America. I have fellow independents who are friends. I have fellow independents who are family. I have Republicans who are friends and Dems who are family. I have Republicans who are friends. I have Democrats who are friends. I have Republicans who are family. I have Democrats who are family. And yeah, usually we avoid the subject, because that's just the thing to do in America. You don't talk about your politics, you talk about something else, something y'all like. Something that lets you and your friends remain friends. Hell, me and a dear friend of mine named Nick, we don't terminate our friendship just because I like Batman's no killing rule and he doesn't. That's a stupid reason to end a friendship. What we have been through, all the times we've been there for one another, all the times that he's been like a brother to me and I've tried to return the favor. That is why we are friends. We have a few things in common, and like I said, that's the only thing that we've had a major disagreement about. That, yeah, I kind of like Batman's no killing rule, he doesn't. I'll do a whole separate video on why at a later date. Right now, I'm just trying to get this out here. We Americans avoid talking politics with friends and family because we know we have people who don't agree. Because, especially younger Americans, generations Y, Z, generation millennials / generation Y, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, everybody under the age of, let's say, 45, just avoids the issue altogether because we are terrified of disagreement. I'm sorry, isn't that one of our core values, is disagreement? Isn't that one of the big reasons why America was founded? We didn't agree with Washington and his buddies didn't agree with the British government and such, decided to call them out on their bullshit? Isn't that what happened? The British government wouldn't let them disagree? Well then, they're going to get the disagreement anyways. Who cares whether or not King George likes it? And over time, We developed our ass-backwards political parties. We have one party who viewed, at the beginning of our country, who viewed that the federal government should be strong, that if it is too weak to do anything for its people, what good is it? And another party that said, how strong is the government before it is too strong? Before it intrudes on the rights of the states and the people living in those states. And to this day, we are still having such disagreements. We still have people who want a government that is far more powerful than it should be. We still have people who want the rights of the states, even with the consequences that come with that. And social media does not help. Neither does the very existence of men like Donald Trump and Joseph Biden. And I've talked a bit about politics with my relatives on every side because I love hearing the different opinions. I love hearing what everybody has to say. And I love that not all of my friends and family have gone too far. I love that they are at least all willing to hear each other out. And that is an art that we, the American people, have lost. The art of listening. The art of a civil, open, and understanding disagreement. Social media, be it Twitter, I am never calling it X. Be it that stupid bird website, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, social media has not helped. And so, I've been building up to this whole time. And this is what I say now. My challenge for my fellow Americans. I implore you. Leave in the comments below, make a separate video about it, do whatever you're going to do. Consider the other side. You can't possibly think that every single person on the opposite political party is a horrible person. You can't possibly think that every single person in your own party is a good person. And if you do, well then what the fuck is wrong with you? I kid, of course. I imagine you probably haven't met a terrible person in your party, but you have to admit they are out there. And that's my challenge for my fellow Americans. I challenge you, the American public. Name someone from the other side that you think is a good person. Doesn't have to be a big politician. It can just be any person you know, a friend, a relative. You can choose a politician if you want, but it does not have to be. And yeah, some ground rules. If they're dead, please have it be no one that died earlier than 1950. Just trying to narrow this down. And yeah, that's challenge 1. Challenge 2. You have to name someone from your own party that you think is not a good person. Once again, this doesn't have to be a big politician. It can be just anybody you know. A relative, a friend, your fucking next door neighbor, living or dead after 1950, again, to narrow it down. It just has to be someone from, it's just similar to the previous challenge. It just has to be, like, the previous challenge, it's got to be someone from the other side you think is a good person. Second challenge, it has to be someone from your own party that you think is not a good person. If they are a politician, then how they did as a politician is irrelevant. We're judging their character, who they were as individuals, as human beings. That is what we're judging here. And if you're an independent like me, well, you've just screwed yourself because you got to do one of each. You got to do one Dem who is a good person, one Rep who is a good person. One Dem who is walking garbage, and one Rep who is walking garbage. And those are my challenges for my fellow Americans because in an election guaranteed to divide us, I cannot believe that anyone would be so stupid to think that all the bad people are on one side. And that's why I challenge you. by Election Day, November 3rd, 2024, I hope y'all have made plenty of responses. Does this have anything to do with the election? No. I'm just hoping the American people can try to remember what we've long forgotten. Common sense. I'll list my own choices on Election Day, and that will be the last time I talk politics. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to entertainment. Try to be as entertaining as I can for you guys, and if I fail, I fail. That's all for tonight. Consider your choices and get back to me. And I'll see you all next time. Good night.